gentlemen, this is
Cooked Cinema.
Time to nut up or shut up.
Welcome to Cooked Cinema. This is a bonus series where we cover movies that absolutely cooked. Not necessarily at the box office, but ones that cooked our hearts. For our inaugural episode, we're covering 2002's 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later is about a group of animal rights activists that break into a lab and release chimpanzees from their cages to rescue them despite warnings from a scientist that the chimpanzees are contagious. As a result of the animal rights activists' actions, a virus that the chimpanzees contain spreads rapidly across Great Britain and infects numerous people. Jim, our main character, who fell into a coma following a bicycle accident shortly before the virus was released, emerges from his coma and finds that London is deserted. He realizes that he is not alone, as within the city there are those that have been infected and those that have not. Jim manages to find more survivors and they head out to Manchester, where a group of British military personnel offer protection of any survivors from the infected. However, Jim and his colleagues have no idea what they're in for. 28 Days Later was directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. Before 28 Days Later, Danny Boyle was mainly known for directing Trainspotting, but went on to direct Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire, and 127 Hours in the following years. Alex Garland's only major credit previous to 28 Days Later was for writing the novel The Beach in 1996, which got a movie adaptation in 2000 by Danny Boyle, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Garland's career exploded after the release of 28 Days Later. He and Boyle would team up again for 2007's Sunshine. Garland also wrote and directed Ex Machina, Annihilation, Devs, Civil War, and Warfare. 28 Days Later stars Cillian Murphy in his breakout role. After 28 Days Later, Murphy would go on to star in blockbusters such as the Dark Knight trilogy, Sunshine, Inception, Dunkirk, A Quiet Place Part 2, Peaky Blinders, Oppenheimer, and of course, Taylor Swift's Opalite music video.
Last but not least.
It also stars Naomi Harris, who went on to star in, I think,
other things.
one of or all of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
Oh, really?
As Moneypenny.
Okay.
And Christopher Eccleston, who we both know from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Of course.
And Brendan Gleeson, who stars in a bunch of fucking shit.
Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah, mainly people know him as Mad Eye Moody in the Harry Potter movie series. But he was also in a couple movies with Colin Farrell. In Bruges and the Banshees of Inisherin. Both really good movies.
Really?
Both super British/Irish movies.
Oh, okay.
But super good.
Oh, hell yeah. Before we get into this, when was the last time that you watched 28 Days Later?
I think when it came out on DVD.
I'm pretty sure same. And like, probably what was that? Probably 2003 when it came out on DVD?
Yeah, because
it might have still been VHS at the time. I don't know.
Because movies actually took a while to come out on.
It wasn't immediate. And I remember watching it back at the time, but then as I was watching it for this, I realized I didn't remember shit. Yeah. I had no idea what was going on. It was like a brand new movie to me.
I remember it was just like a lot of shaky cam and shit.
Like I remember there's certain scenes I remember just because like they became iconic.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, especially Cillian Murphy's scene where he's walking on the bridge or whatever after he like leaves the hospital,
right?
And he yells out "hello," which inspired fucking Gorillaz,
the Gorillaz
M1A1 song. So,
which I didn't hear until about 15 minutes before this. So we get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Stinger. We don't have one yet. The film begins in a research laboratory where chimpanzees are restrained in cages. The room contains screens showing violent footage, which the scientists later explain is used as part of the experiments.
Rough.
A group of animal rights activists break into the facility, which no locks, no security, after subduing staff, but they don't really show how they got in. Let's just be honest there.
It wasn't part of the budget.
Was not part of the budget. They begin unlocking cages despite the scientists' attempt to stop them. One scientist.
Yeah, one single scientist in this whole research laboratory.
He explains that chimpanzees are infected with a small virus called rage, which we don't know is an acronym or just literal rage, which causes uncontrollable aggression and is highly infectious. The activists continue and release one chimpanzee. The chimp immediately attacks one of them, spreading the virus through blood exposure. Multiple activists become infected within seconds.
Which I feel like a chimp even if it wasn't infected, would probably freak out and attack.
It would definitely do the
There's a
same
lot-
thing.
There's a lot of fucking horrible shit going on.
Also, the scientist was like, "Don't do that. Don't do that." And they're just like,
No.
"We're doing that."
No,
It's-
don't do that.
If you're in a research laboratory
Laboratory.
and you're doing that, and the scientist is like, they're highly contagious. You really don't want to do that. You'll fuck up everything. I'd probably be like, oh, okay, well, are any of them not really
I mean,
contagious?
it just goes to show that a lot of activists are dumb as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. 28 days later,
What?
Jim wakes up in a hospital room full of dick and balls.
Hell yeah.
He has shaved hair on his head, an IV in his arm, and medical equipment around him that is no longer working. He removes the tubes and walks through the hospital, calling out for help with no response.
What if you just left it connected? It's like,
Just dragging it behind him.
this might still be useful.
Just
Just throughout the whole movie,
he pulls out the IV, dies immediately at the
Yeah.
end.
credits.
He finds abandoned equipment, spilled supplies, and signs that the building was vacated rapidly. He goes out into London, where the streets are empty, cars are abandoned in odd positions, and the city appears evacuated. Missing persons posters cover walls. Which, my main takeaway here was the music that they used. I can't play it, but it started off real slow as he's walking through the hospital, and then kind of ramps up as he's like noticing everything's fucked and the missing
Dude,
posters and everything.
Did you like induce like panic and
In
shit?
tension, and it really drove it home. It was nice. He walks into a church hoping to find survivors. Inside, many bodies are on the ground, which this part was awesome.
Yeah.
And in the scene, if you're following along at home, all the bodies were played by art students and got paid literally a cup of tea for their.
The most British shit ever.
Yeah. Jim says hello, and this is where we get
Hello.
the first eyes on the infected, which is awesome because they look like bodies. They're not moving.
Yeah.
And then he says hello, and they just pop up.
Just shit your pants moment.
Yeah, exactly. Jim says hello, and two infected upstairs lift their head when they hear him. He steps backwards, realizing something wrong. Something wrong.
Something wrong.
A priest,
Something wrong.
an infected priest approaches him and attacks. Jim retreats and exits the church. My main takeaway here is I thought it was perfect, especially if you read it kind of in a British accent. As he's walking up the stairs to the church, it says the end is extremely fucking nigh on the wall of the church.
Of a church.
Outside, several infected chase him. Two survivors, Selena and Mark, throw Molotov cocktails at the infected and direct Jim to follow them. They take him to a makeshift shelter in the upper level of a small convenience storefront. There they give him food and explain the outbreak. They tell him that the virus spreads through blood and saliva, and infection occurs in seconds. They explain that cities were evacuated and governments failed to contain the spread. Jim learns he was in a coma during the entire collapse.
Must be nice.
I liked this because, like, during the scene, Cillian Murphy's great actor. We all know that.
Amazing.
The look on his face when he comes to realization was like such a perfect moment.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I just thought was funny is they're like, "You're gonna need some food," and they just hand him Maltesers, which are like malt balls,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Whoppers in our country.
Whoppers.
Whoppers.
Not the burger.
And it's also during this where, you know, he's coming to the realization, but he's like, I gotta go see my parents because
Yeah.
that's what you would do. You
Oh, yeah.
figure everyone that you know is at least still alive.
Need my mommy.
Jim asks to visit his parents' house. Lena warns him the trip is dangerous, but he insists. And then it's honestly the next day because they choose only to travel during the daytime because obviously night sucks.
Yeah.
They enter the house. Jim finds a photograph of himself and his family and discovers his parents in bed, deceased from an overdose,
Oh shit.
which was sleeping pills and wine,
Nice.
which is, you know, the
Oh,
cocktail. A note near them suggests they believe Jim would never wake up and chose to die, which the note was actually on the back of the photograph they were holding in their hand. And I thought the note was just written so well. It wasn't like, "Oh, Jim, we thought you wouldn't wake up, so we killed ourselves." It read, "Jim, with endless love, we left you sleeping. Now we're sleeping with you. Don't wake up," which is a very ominous way to write that note, but
Yeah.
awesome.
What if it just said, "Jim, we couldn't bear the thought of being your parents for one more second. You're such a piece of shit."
It just said, "Yummy, yummy sleeping pills."
This is I'm fucked up.
Jim and Selena and Mark remain in the house after nightfall. which it didn't seem. This struck me. Like I guess it never stated how long it took for them to get to the house from where they were, but it was daytime.
It wasn't part of the budget.
Yeah, it was definitely daytime when they reached there, and then they're just like, "We should stay here tonight." It's like, okay, but is there a reason? Or are you just like, "Oh, this is better than the convenience store that we've been sleeping in"? Jim lights a candle despite Selena telling him not to. The candlelight attracts infected who break in through the window and doors. During the fight, Mark is cut by an infected individual. The moment Selena sees the wound, she kills him with a machete.
Machete.
She tells Jim there is no time to check for infection since it spreads immediately. She and Jim leave the house. Which, she literally, it was one of those things like, he's cleaning up a wound on his arm, and she sees it, and she hesitates for 2 seconds, and then just bashes him with the machete. Which, also, there was blood everywhere. And I was like, doesn't it spread through blood? Shouldn't you be careful? I don't know. This is also where I also realized that I think this movie had an obvious Pepsi sponsorship.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, he picks it up in the hospital. There's several different ones, but he picked up the Pepsi. And then as he was going through the cupboards, not even the fridge, the cupboards of the house, there's just Pepsi cans in there.
Yeah. If you ever see a brand logo and it's not really covered by anything, it's a fucking sponsorship. Because most like movies and shows, most media, if they don't have a sponsorship, they won't be able to use.
Right. It would just be generic cola.
Yeah. Just say cola. Have you ever seen World War Z?
I actually haven't.
There's a scene that lasts so long. It's Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's character. He walks up to, it was either Pepsi, Coca-Cola, or Mountain Dew, a vending machine. He stands there. He like puts in the money. He puts in like the numbers of the vending machine that like deposits and drops down, and he slowly opens up the can and starts drinking it. And it just lasts so long. It's such a blatant fucking product placement.
And this was kind of that. It wasn't as blatant.
Yeah.
But like it was obviously Pepsi. It says Pepsi straight out for everyone to see. And then, but he picks up a couple nondescript ones and then picks up the Pepsi. It was like, okay, there's something's going on there.
He picks up the non-Pepsi.
And then he really, really got after that Pepsi because he was so thirsty.
And then the movie ends because it's just a Pepsi commercial. Surprise!
The next day, Jim and Selena walk through the city and see flashing Christmas lights in a high-rise apartment tower. They enter the building's stairwell. It is dark and filled with trash and debris. As they climb, infected follow them up the stairs. Jim struggles due to fatigue because he just woke up from a coma. This is another part. As he's climbing, he needs a break.
Yeah.
And Selena explains, like, you've been in a coma, you're dehydrated, because he has a headache. And she's like, the best I can give you is Pepsi.
More sugar.
Or they actually said a different one, but it was like a British brand I've never heard of. And, of course, what does he take?
Pepsi.
Yep.
Yeah, because nothing cures a headache like sugar.
Yeah, she hands him ibuprofen and sugar.
I mean,
it would do it.
Caffeine. Pepsi in other countries, it's made with like natural shit though. So because our
not aspartame.
Yeah,
actual cane sugar. They reach the top where Frank, Mad Eye Moody,
Brendan Gleeson,
a middle-aged man, opens the door and lets them into the barricaded apartment. Inside is Frank's teenage daughter Hannah, who is the worst actress I've ever seen.
Played by who? Something Burns?
Sure.
Mark Burns?
Megan Burns?
Megan Burns.
Megan Burns, who has been in 3 things, once before this, and then nothing until 2018.
Then she allegedly retired from acting on her own volition, and not because she couldn't land any more acting roles.
Yeah, just like, I retired from my old job, not that I got fired. Frank has an improvised system for collecting water and defending the apartment. He explains the rainwater collection on the roof has stopped working because it hasn't rained in 10 days, which is not common for England at all, apparently. And his filtration setup is failing. They do not have enough water to continue
it's always
living
gloomy
there.
in England, so.
Yeah, but apparently it rains a lot.
Yeah.
So this scene, I read a fact, so it was all on the roof, and for the scene, they needed a bunch of buckets. And this was apparently the only time that the director ever got mad on set because they had 100 buckets. But when you put 100 buckets on a big-ass roof, the shot looked like there wasn't enough buckets.
Really?
So he threw a fit. He's like, I need 1,000 buckets by the end of the day. And so the staff got him all these buckets. for the shot, but some of them weren't like actual buckets. Like there was a few like laundry baskets and stuff that would never hold water,
Yeah.
just kind of sprinkled in there.
I thought you were gonna say once they got a shit ton of buckets, he was gonna be like, "Now there's too many buckets."
Now there's too many buckets.
It's like that scene from Walk Hard.
Yeah.
He needs more blankets and he needs less blankets.
Frank plays a repeating military radio transmission. The broadcast states a group of soldiers located near Manchester
Manchester.
has the answer to infection and offers instructions to reach their blockade. Frank suggests that they go there. Jim and Selena agree because staying in the apartment is not sustainable, which that made it seem like they just go, oh yeah. But they were fully not against, like, they're fully against having other people travel with them because the more people you're with, the more people you have to look out for.
Yeah.
Frank, terrible Hannah, Selena, and Jim leaving Frank's cab, driving through the empty streets. They approach a blocked tunnel. Jim suggests taking a different route, but Frank insists on going through the tunnel to save time. Inside, the tunnel is filled with abandoned vehicles. The cab drives over debris and nearly gets stuck. Yeah, the debris pops the tire. I forgot to write this, but it pops the tire, so they had to stop to change and put the tire back on. Rats emerge from deeper inside the tunnel, fleeing something. They realize it is the infected. The group sees infected running towards them, but manages to exit the tunnel just in time. My favorite thing is the whole time they're driving was Frank. I just want to keep calling him Mad Eye Moody. Frank
You just call him Mad Eye Moody.
kind of isn't listening. He's just kind of driving where he wants to drive.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, this is a shit idea. If you ever think this is a shit idea, it's probably because it's a shit idea the entire time. Later, they stop at the supermarket for supplies. Because the store is abandoned, they freely collect food and other necessities. Which, one thing, I've seen videos trying to explain this, but like the power grid goes down. Nothing has power. But this supermarket's fully just well lit. Like everything's working.
Was there a name of the supermarket outside or throughout the inside of the supermarket? Because if it was an actual supermarket, the supermarket was probably like, you guys can use us,
Before we open or whatever.
but everything has to be fully lit. And
But here's the thing. Inside the supermarket, they showed rotten vegetables,
okay.
except for apples. Apples were like perfectly. And Frank goes, irradiated. But like, who knows how long it's been?
Yeah.
It's been at least a month. I don't think the apples would have lasted that long. But like, if they were just using the supermarket, I feel like they wouldn't have replaced all the vegetables, or at least not shot the vegetables.
I don't know.
I don't know either. They continue driving through rural areas, passing fields and deserted towns. At a service station, Jim kills an infected boy. This is the first time he kills, and he reacts strongly afterwards, which you
Yeah.
have to. You have to. During this time, they stop and they have to stop overnight. And they're just sleeping outside, which seemed like a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, give me some protection. You don't know who's gonna stroll up on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Infected or not infected.
This scene was interesting, and I hated it. So
Loved it, but it was garbage.
It was interesting only because of after I learned, like, this is a really happy scene because they have like supplies and food and
Yeah.
they're with each other and they like each other. But it was filmed literally on the day of 9/11,
Oh yeah.
which I thought was interesting. So like all the actors had to play happy, and then they would get off stage and like watch people die on TV.
I mean, we had to watch people die on TV in elementary school.
Yeah. Middle.
Elementary for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I was in 6th grade.
I was in 4th grade.
Bonus episode of 9/11.
Where it's just nothing but people screaming.
Yeah. Also during this scene, Jim comes up to Selena. He's like, I was just thinking. And she goes, you're thinking that you'll never read a book that hasn't been read or listen to a song that already hasn't been recorded? I'm like, thinking this, yeah, that's how things work.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if I only listened to music that hasn't been recorded yet?
Yeah.
How would that even work?
You'd be like a time traveler.
Yeah. It was one of the dumbest lines I've ever heard and should have been cut. And then this is also where the romance between Jim and Selena kind of start.
Yeah.
Seemingly out of nowhere. Like, he was just an annoyance to her the entire time. At no point did they ever seem like they were getting along until right now.
This is probably where they're like looking at the script and in the middle of shooting, they're like, we need some romance. And they can't have it between him and Mad Eye Moody, unfortunately.
Or the teenager. They reach Manchester and see the
Manchester.
skyline fire is burning. The city appears abandoned, which they did comment like, no fire crews to put them out. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
They follow, which they caused an explosion at a gas station with the fucking Molotov cocktails. Now that entire city's going to burn because It's a gas station and no one's there to put it out.
Thanks a lot.
They followed the directions to a military blockade outside the urban area. The blockade is empty and shows signs that soldiers were previously stationed there, including sandbags, razor wire, and equipment left behind. The broadcast continues to play from a speaker, but no one is present. This pisses off Frank because it was Frank's idea to go there anyway, which I understand because he has a kid. You kind of want to save your kid.
Right. I wouldn't, but to each their own.
Yeah. Frank becomes frustrated and hits a metal object near a corpse, which this sounds different than what it actually is. The corpse was like on top of a like metal gate,
Yeah.
and it was getting eaten by a crow.
Ew.
And the crow annoyed Frank because it was cawing.
Yeah.
And so he goes and hits the door, and that's what he hits. And then this is when a drop of infected blood from a hanging body drips directly into his eye, which best scene in the movie,
And
I thought.
the worst luck.
Yeah. It's like one of those takes.
'Cause it's such a small target that the drop of blood has to fucking hit.
And it's like one of those times where you're having like a bad day at work and then you come home and your dog shit on the floor and you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Frank quickly undergoes the early symptoms of infection. Hannah approaches him, but Frank yells at her to stay back. Within seconds, he becomes aggressive. The soldiers who were hidden around the blockade, also, if they were there, they could tell they weren't infected. Why didn't
Right.
they pop out earlier?
Well, we'll learn that they're probably not the best people.
The soldiers who were hidden around the blockade waiting to ambush infected emerge and shoot Frank. Jim, Selena, and Hannah are detained and transported to the soldiers' base. They arrive at a fortified mansion with perimeter defenses, including floodlights, barbed wire, tripwires. Inside, the soldiers provide food and clean clothing. Kind of food. They do have dinner, and it's all made, and then they realize that the eggs went bad. Hannah showers and changes. Selena receives a dress. Jim is given medical attention and shown the generator room and compounds.
Because he's the man. Of course, he's going to show
of
him
course.
the generator room and stuff. Because
Because we're going to walk in and go, nice. The next day, the major shows Jim a captured infected soldier chained in the yard. He explains that after some days without food, the infected show signs of starvation, implying the outbreak may not last forever.
and the major is played by Christopher Eccleston.
Which I didn't know what his name was, but I'm like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
You know that. We know that guy.
Yeah, he's one of the people that you see him in something, you're like, I know him.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
seen him in stuff. Don't know his name, but I've seen him
No
in
idea what
stuff.
his name is. Jim observes tensions among the soldiers. Some behave casually and disrespectfully. Others appear stressed. At dinner, the major explains their setup, their food supply, and how they have sustained themselves. He also mentions having lost soldiers before the group arrived. Later that night, a soldier attempts to force himself on Selena, but another soldier interrupts. This made me mad because they started this whole like forced romance between Selena and Jim, and when the soldier was being real disrespectful towards Selena, real disrespectful, Jim just kind of stands there. It's like, dude, if you were like in this
Budding romance.
facto relationship,
Yeah.
you should butt in, not another soldier. Jim notices these incidents, realizing the environment is unsafe. Eventually, the major reveals his plans. He promised his soldiers women to maintain their morale. He explains that Selena and Hannah will be forced into sexual roles to help repopulate.
Fucking gross.
Jim refuses to accept this, as you would, and attacks the soldiers. He is restrained and placed in a locked room with Sergeant West, the soldier who opposed the plan. And this is the part where I realized that the infected were no longer the antagonist of the movie, even though they're still very present.
Yeah.
Like it's always going to be the people.
Has this theme been like touched on before 28 Days Later? Because like after that, like The Walking Dead and shit like that, the characters realize that they're the problem and not the actual like zombies.
Right, and I don't know because I've watched a lot of zombie movies, and it's always the zombies.
warcookpod@gmail.com. Let us know.
That night, the major orders Jim and Wes taken into the woods for execution. Corporal Mitchell and another soldier lead them there. During the execution process, Wes tells one soldier that the major has lied to them. This causes hesitation. Jim uses the distraction to run. Mitchell shoots at him, but Jim escapes into the forest.
What? They didn't kill the main character?
They didn't. So he jumps over the wall, and he arrives out on the other side. Like there's razor wire on top, and his shirt's got caught up on the razor wire, so he's just shirtless now
Hell yeah.
because you have to have Cillian Murphy shirtless at some point.
Got to show some skin, Killian.
He already showed his dick. Why not his nips?
Dicks and nips.
And the soldiers see his shirt up there, and they're like, "Oh, he's over the wall. He's as good as dead." Because apparently, They just think he's going to die,
Rather
even
be-
though he made it this long.
Rather
so
be
far.
over the wall than over the hill.
Yes. Jim circles back to the mansion grounds. He climbs over the wall during a rainstorm because
Drama.
drama and cool
Yeah.
with the lightning flashes. Inside the perimeter,
Now he's Batman.
he is Batman, which inside the perimeter, he approaches the building and releases the chained infected soldier. The infected soldier immediately attacks the nearest soldier and enters the mansion. Perfect plan. Inside, the soldiers react in a disorganized way. Some attempt to fight the infected while others panic. Jim uses the confusion to move through the mansion and search for Selena and Hannah, MC Hammer, who are being held by soldiers preparing them for the Major's plan. During this time, Selena gives Hammer a sedative.
No respect.
So she's acting stoned, but the actress is not a good actress. So she's just seems like she got stupider all of a sudden.
As you guys can tell, Luke's her biggest fan.
So bad. Also, these soldiers never act like soldiers from the beginning. They were just like dumb dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, just because you have guns doesn't make you like tactical or tactically savvy. I was thinking the whole time, like, how'd you guys even make it this far?
Yeah.
Because you're fucking stupid.
I mean, there could have been a lot more of them, but they're all dumb, and half of them, 3/4 of them, probably died off.
But one of them was like the stupidest man ever. And somehow he
Based
made it.
on you?
Yeah. In my opinion, he's as stupid as the actress is bad at playing Hannah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, during this time, I didn't write this well, so I want to just explain this before I move on. They're in disarray. The soldiers are running through the house, hiding, looking for the infected. One is used to keep guard of the two women. During this time, Jim is also running through the house, either killing soldiers or leading them to the infected.
Killian soldiers?
Killian Murphy and soldiers. Or leading them to the infected. He crawls up in the attic, which I thought was weird. I'm like, why the fuck is he in the attic? But you can hear what's going on through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And
But they can't hear him?
I guess not. It's a thunderstorm. Maybe they're not hearing like thumping. But also there's chaos going on through the house and like yelling and like above or below where Jim is at this point, a soldier has Selena and she's yelling and struggling and he's being a fucking dick, as you would if you're trying to rape this woman, I
Yeah.
guess.
Sexually assault.
And this is when Jim comes crashing through the ceiling
On purpose?
on purpose.
Okay.
Like directly like attacking the soldier.
Batman shit, dude.
Yeah. And presses his thumb into his eyes and just holds him
He
there.
just keeps pressing.
Yeah. Which was awesome. Then after this I wrote sorry, I just read this through and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This was also at like midnight I was writing this. I was real tired. After he kills the soldier, Selena initially raises her machete to strike Jim, thinking he was infected.
Yeah.
Due to his aggressive behavior, and he was covered in blood because he was just killing fuckers. But what stops once she sees his knot, and this is where they start making out, and I'm like, just get out of the fucking house. What do you
Yeah.
Stop doing what you're doing.
I hate when movies fucking do that. There's a bunch of shit going on, and also just the movie stops.
Yeah.
Because the main character's at the fucking kiss.
Or like Stranger Things, the final season, when they were about to escape
The Upside
whatever.
Down?
Not the Upside Down. It was Max and the little sister.
Oh, yeah. And they
And
talk for
they-
fucking hours.
Just fucking go.
Yeah.
Could you just go,
Yeah.
maybe?
Can't you run and talk at the same time?
Jim, Selena, and Hannah run outside to the cab. Major West tries to stop them and gets in the car during the struggle. This is where Jim is shot by Major West. Hannah reverses into the entryway of the mansion where the Major is ripped from the back of the cab by an infected. This got me because like Hannah's supposed to be on sedatives and now she's just good enough to drive,
Right.
apparently. I was like,
It's a low budget writing, baby.
Jim and Selena get into the cab. Hannah accelerates towards the gate, which is locked, and they are forced to crash through it. This is where it just goes freeze frame as they're kind of getting thrown forward.
Yeah.
And this is where I learned it was the original ending of the movie. They didn't have anything written after that, or they ran out of money.
And then Danny Boyle went to the studio and they're like, more money, please.
Can I get more money, please?
Please, sir, can I have some more?
And then they did give him more money
Yeah.
to film this ending.
And then this was after the movie was already released in theaters. And so the studio gave them more money. And then they spliced the additional footage into the fucking film reels. So the people that saw the original ending got fucked or they had to pay again to watch the new ending.
Which, yeah, it'd suck if you got fucked because the ending of them just like flying forward because they
Yeah.
weren't wearing seatbelts is garbage.
That's like a show that ends with the whole series being in the person's like head.
A dream
Yeah.
sequence. So they don't really show this. They do quick cuts of them like escaping the compound, and Selena finds a hospital and she's trying to revive Jim, but there's no real scene. It's just like quick cut. She's like, "Come on, damn it!" And then it goes to like finally cuts to 28 days later.
Is yelling, "Come on, damn it!" That'll heal the gunshot wound.
Exactly. And then 28 days later,
What? The
Yeah.
movie. It's a name.
Jim wakes up and they're in like a cottage and
Jeez.
doesn't say where. And he kind of just, apparently he'd been good for a while because it wasn't like he just woke up and was like, "Where the fuck am I?" He knew where he was. He put on his shirt and walked out. And you see Selena sewing using an old crank sewing machine.
Oh hell yeah! As a woman does.
Yeah. And you don't know what she's sewing, but she was sewing. You could see in the fabric was the dress that she was wearing when they escaped.
Mm.
And he goes, "You look quite good in this." And that's when Hannah comes in and goes, "They're coming, guys. They're,
Guys,
I
they're
swear,
coming."
they're on their way. This is emotion." And they run out and they have white sheets that spell the word. It looked like they meant to say help, but it says hello.
She got distracted.
Yeah, they didn't get to finish it because a jet is flying. Apparently, they have heard this jet before because they're like, "You sure you heard it this time?"
There's a pilot just casually flying over.
Yeah. A military jet flies overhead on a reconnaissance route. The pilot sees the letter laid out in the field. Selena asks Jim if he thinks the pilot saw them, and Jim answers yes.
Yes.
And that is
The
the
actual
end
end.
of the movie.
The actual end of the movie.
The actual end of the movie.
The updated end.
But I had not seen it in 23 years or whatever it's been since the movie came out. It's a freaking good movie, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely helped revitalize the zombie genre. Without this movie, we wouldn't have probably had the Walking Dead comic series.
Definitely
We
not.
unfortunately had the
Walking Dead TV show.
the majority of the Walking Dead TV show, the Left 4 Dead games, Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder and James Gunn,
Oh, yeah. World War Z.
the book,
World War Z.
the book.
The book?
The book.
I didn't know it was a book, be honest with you.
It's based off of, the book's way better than the fucking movie.
Is it
of
really?
course. I Am Legend,
Oh, yeah, but
the movie, not the book.
well, we would have had this, but maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't decide it. But I Am Legend was a remake of The Last Man on Earth, which was made back in the 50s.
That was a book.
Right. But the movie was a remake of the movie.
But then they're like, yeah, we're just gonna
They're just going to flood the zombie market, even though,
give us a faithful adaptation of I Am Legend.
but these, like, they try to make it very clear that this is not a zombie movie, even though it gets lumped in with zombie movies.
Yeah, it's pretty much a zombie movie.
It is, but, like, zombies are usually in it for brains and they eat people.
The overarching, the details, no, not zombies,
Right.
But like the overarching.
It feels like zombie, yeah. But they're just infected humans. So it was
Aren't we
always
all?
about human violence,
Aren't we all?
which I thought was fine. Oh, that was interesting. But they are zombies.
So yeah, fucking Danny Boyle and Alex Garland fucking cooked with this movie.
Fucking filleted it.
Fucking filleted it. They didn't well done it.
Didn't well done it.
Well done steaks are garbage. Don't listen to Luke.
I don't have a soundboard. I'm not doing the soundboard on this one, or else I'd have a perfect fucking reply for you.
What?
This man has no dick.
Yeah. This, like we said, this movie revitalized the whole zombie
Genre.
genre, even though it's not specifically a zombie
movie. But yeah, I've seen enough zombie movies where like I stopped watching zombie movies because it's all the
it's
kind of
just
same shit. But this
Yeah.
is actually different, which was nice.
And it got so like convoluted that there was just a shit ton of fucking shitty,
Right.
super even lower budget than this, or had a better budget than this that were fucking
Terrible.
garbage. But yeah, fucking Zombieland movies. Well, the first one was really good. Second one was meh.
I don't know if I watched the second one.
Double tap. Yeah, they find like this whole compound of
I did watch that.
Survivors.
Yeah.
not as good, not nearly as good as the first one. But we're not talking about that
Because
movie.
Bill Murray
yet.
wasn't in it.
Do you ever any regrets? Garfield, maybe.
Garfield, maybe.
But you want to hear some trivia
Let's do it.
that I didn't read before?
Definitely did not read this before.
Like you guys, this is the first time you're hearing it. Ewan McGregor was the original choice to play Jim, but he and director Danny Boyle had a falling out at the time over The Beach, the movie that Danny Boyle directed that was based off of Alex Garland's novel, in which McGregor was supposed to play the lead until he was replaced by Leonardo DiCaprio. They have since reconciled.
But he, in quote, said, "Come on, Danny.
Come on, Danny.
Being a dick, Danny.
He calls him Dan. Fuck you, Dan.
You, Dan. Daniel."
You're being a real Dan. He said, God damn it. After that didn't work out, the role was offered to Ryan Gosling, who luckily, I'm putting in luckily, had a scheduling conflict because that would have been weird. 2002, let's see what Ryan Gosling was up to in 2002. Well, I guess they wanted relatively unknown actors, so, but still.
Is this before he played in the movie where he was like in love with a mannequin?
He was in a movie where he was.
Yeah.
What was it called? Mannequin? Ryan Gosling. But now, dude, Ryan Gosling, amazing actor.
Yeah, great. Just wouldn't have been great in this.
Let's see. He was young Hercules in the TV show Young Hercules.
2002, he'd been in Murder by Numbers, The Slaughter Rule. That was the only thing he did in 2002.
Remember the Titans?
In 2000, he was in Remember the Titans?
I guess so.
I have that on VHS. I should watch it tonight.
But yeah.
What is the movie? Lars and the Real Girl in 2007. That was after The Notebook.
It sounded like a young adult novel, so I was like The Fault of Our Stars. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking watch that.
Yeah, a delusional man strikes up an unconventional relationship with a doll he finds on the internet.
Weird.
I remember scenes from that movie where he's like brings it to his parents' house and shit. It's so weird.
Next bit of trivia. The decision to film on DV, digital video, using Canon XL1 cameras was both an aesthetic and logistic choice. Aesthetically, Danny Boyle, fuck you, Danny.
Fuck you, Danny.
Just kidding, we love you, Danny. Unless you're a crook.
Then fuck you, Danny.
Fuck you, Dan.
Fuck you, Dan.
Danny Boyle felt that the harshness of the DV imagery suited the post-apocalyptic urban landscape and the grittiness of the film in general. In the production notes, Boyle says the general idea was to try and shoot as though we were survivors too. Logistically, producer Andrew McDonald claims that shooting with standard cameras, especially some exterior scenes, would have been impossible. As McDonald points out in the production notes, the police and local authorities were quite happy to assist us because we could set up scenes so quickly. We could literally be ready to shoot with a 6-camera setup within minutes, something we would not realistically have been able to do if shooting under the restrictions of 35mm, which takes a good deal more time to set up a single shot.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it wasn't all that like much of an artistic vision other than like a budgetary restriction.
Yeah, other than we're fucking broke decision.
Because the scene, like the final scene that he got money from the studio is shot in 35mm. And he said, it's like, yeah, we chose to do that because it really brings out the colors and makes it feel like, you know, there was actually hope and everything is bright afterwards. I'm like, really? It wasn't because you actually had the money to shoot on 35mm now?
After they said that, the studio was probably like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
The only reason why you could shoot 35mm is because we gave you money.
You'd be nothing without us.
What was the studio?
20th Century Fox, I believe.
Which is...
I don't even know now. Everything gets bought up.
Yeah, since it was bought by Disney, now it's just 20th Century Studios. Because Fox is no more.
It's still 20th Century Fox to me, damn it.
The final week of filming was dedicated towards the opening lab sequence, which was shot in Stuttgart,
Germany,
where one of the only 2 troops of chimps suitable for filming was based.
The other one's only in LA, but since they're in Europe, they're like, yeah, we can go to Germany. It's like a 3-hour train ride. Let's just go there.
You know, at first they're like, could we go to LA?
And then they're like, they looked at their bank account and was like, let's go to Germany.
We got $5. We could all take a train to Germany. The film had disappeared from many streaming services until the announcement that 28 years later was in the pipeline. This put the original film back on the radar, which I guess it's just us, but because we're so like into movies and we're in this medium that I thought it was always on the radar.
I think I reference whenever there's a zombie movie ever, I just go, "Oh, it's not gonna be as good as 28 years later, 28 days later,
Yeah.
or 28 weeks later even."
Or 20 years later, even, because
Which
they're
yeah.
all super fucking good. And why wouldn't you put it on a streaming service? I'd imagine it wouldn't be that expensive before 20 years later.
At least put it on fucking. Oh my god, what is the name of Stutter?
Shudder.
Shutter. Jesus, put it on Shutter or something.
No, Stutter is what I have, which I think it is on Shudder, but it should have been on Shudder this whole fucking time.
Yeah, it should have never left.
Since the inception of Shudder. Inception, Cillian Murphy.
Oh, 6 Degrees of Cillian Murphy. It's like they had blinders on. Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy.
It's like they had blinders on, but they could peeky around them.
So bad. It was so bad.
Oh, speaking of Batman, speaking of Cillian Murphy Batmaning around that fucking building, Christopher Nolan was so impressed with Cillian Murphy's work in the film that he invited him to test for him for Batman Begins. He read for Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Who's that?
They're the same. They're not the same person.
Never seen him in the same
Billionaire
room.
Bruce Wayne.
All I'm saying is I've never
Playboy.
seen them in the same room.
Yeah. Before being cast as the Scarecrow in Batman Begins. You said The Dark Knight's your favorite. I think Batman Begins is my favorite
Really?
because in Begins, Gotham actually looked like Gotham. But in the subsequent movies, The Dark Knight and Rises, it just looks like Chicago.
Well, because it is.
But it's like bright and clean
Yeah,
as
fair.
opposed to the Batman Begins where it's just gritty and
Well, it's because he
gross.
cleaned up the city as Batman.
he did that after The Dark Knight. So what's
Yeah.
your excuse, buddy?
I don't know. But like, yeah, because like Metropolis in DC world was always New York, and then Gotham was always
New Jersey.
no
Yeah.
Chicago.
No, it's New Jersey.
Is it supposed to be New Jersey?
Yeah, there's-
I heard it was Chicago.
They're sister cities. They're supposed to be just separated by the fucking whatever rivers.
The
there.
Hudson.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're
I heard
sister
it was
cities.
Chicago.
Nope.
Interesting.
Wow. Someone's trying to know comics more than me. Try that again. Try that again, buddy. Speaking of comics, a year later, Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead comic book series launched in almost the exact same way, with the hero waking up from a coma in a hospital only to find that the world was upended. Which, huge coincidence if Robert
Big-
Kirkman didn't go back or just take the fucking
He had
the
to.
idea from the beginning.
He's like, well, we're not in London, but I can do Atlanta.
Yeah. But yeah, that'd be a huge coincidence if Robert Kirkman didn't take the same idea.
I remember watching the first episode, when it was good,
Yeah.
and going, oh, this is just 28 days later.
Man, that show started out so
Yeah.
fucking strong.
The same thing, dude. A lot of those shows do, like, aside from Breaking Bad was kind of always good. But, like, The Walking Dead starts good, sucks. Even Sons of Anarchy started good and then sucked.
But The Walking Dead started out amazing because not only was it post-apocalyptic, but it was also set in a major city.
Right.
So they had to, like, CGI the city. They had to have a huge budget
Yeah,
to do
for
all
sure.
that. But then it just went on to, we're just walking through streets.
We're just walking. Oh, a walker.
We're just walking through fields, empty
Yeah.
fields.
And the walkers are just walking all slow, and they're just like, we just kill them as we go now. I don't know.
Now, was there ever any like smart, fast-moving zombies in the Walking Dead
Mm-mm.
series?
Never seen one. Not that I also stopped watching it because why would I keep watching it?
Yeah.
It got bad because Rick is the main villain, actually.
In the comics, he's the one that even says we are the Walking Dead, which kind of a jumping the shark moment. I don't know if he said it in the series because I didn't fucking watch
Yeah,
it.
I didn't want. I watched, I think, the first 3 seasons, and then I go, "Ooh, I'm done.
What was the season where they're on the farm? Was that the second one?
I'm not sure. It was, for me, it was right after like the prison.
Which I think might have been 3 or also 2.
I don't know. They're all the same.
But I remember, I do remember the prison. I think I stopped watching when they just wouldn't leave the prison.
Right? Yeah.
And nothing was happening. No zombies were attacking because they were just kept out by a fucking fence.
I remember I tried watching it afterwards. I'm like, maybe I just was too harsh. No,
No,
I wasn't too harsh. It was bad.
I wasn't harsh enough.
Yeah.
The execution pit scene near the end was filmed outside a church off Witherington Road, connecting Salisbury, speaking of steaks,
Ooh,
to Downton Abbey.
I do love me a good Salisbury steak.
What is a Salisbury steak again?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but I know like the Hungry Man Salisbury steaks
Oh, yeah.
was basically just a beef patty with gravy.
Okay, yeah. And then the country fried steak, which isn't even a fucking steak.
Yeah.
It's fucking chicken.
Chicken.
But still good. The execution pit scene near the end was filmed outside a church off Witherington Road. What's more fucking British than Witherington?
Witherington
Most names
Trolley.
Most names would be like Witherton,
Yeah.
but they have to add the fucking ing withering.
Sir Witherington the Third Esquire.
It's probably named after a fucking old lord or
Yeah.
something.
Lord Duke Witherington.
Yeah. Connecting Salisbury to downtown.
Downton.
Downton. Fuck. What's more British than removing the W from town? Or adding a fucking E at the end of town.
Yeah. Towny. Downton Downey.
One of the prop teams didn't pick up the fake bodies after filming. How many bodies were there? Was there like a bunch?
There was a bunch, yeah.
So they just didn't pick up a whole fucking pile.
So you realize that in the film, like, because at one point after, like during dinner, they kind of get raided by the infected, so they're all going out and shooting them, and they're getting blown up by like mines and tripwires and stuff, and they're told to take care of the bodies off the lawn. You realize that every time that happens, they just kind of dump them in this one area, and so there's a shit ton of like prop bodies out there.
Yeah, so a local hairdresser from Downton saw them from the road, panicked, crashed her car, and phoned the police, who came to investigate and interrogate the crew. They just couldn't like look at the bodies and realize they're obviously fake. They just had to go and interrogate them.
There seems to be a happening over here.
We have nothing going on, so we're just going to be assholes to you guys. The film has engendered or caused
Just say caused.
some confusion as to whether or not the virus is a worldwide phenomenon or whether it's confined to Britain. This is clarified on the DVD commentary, however. When shooting began, Danny Boyle,
Danny
and Alex, those just sound like children.
and Alex, yeah.
Oh, Danny and Alex are filming their little movie.
They're making their little movies over there. Hey, you gonna put me in your movie, Danny?
Come on, Danny. Danny Boyle and Alex Garland intended to reveal that the virus had spread worldwide, which is why Selena mentions outbreaks in Paris and New York early in the movie. However, as filming progressed, they changed their minds and decided to render the spread of the virus more ambiguous. As such, they wrote the dialogue spoken by Sergeant Farrell, which was the guy that was tied up to the radiator.
Yes.
Yeah, with Batman. Played by Stuart McQuarrie. As such, they wrote the dialogue spoken by Sergeant Farrell when he is tied to the radiator as a counter theory to Selena's claims. He hypothesizes that Britain would have simply quarantined at the first sign of trouble and that there was no way the virus could have reached America or mainland Europe. Obviously, the sequel 28 weeks later confirms that Farrell was entirely correct.
When I watched it, I didn't think that was like an integral part of the plot line.
But it is. It is now.
It seemed like such a throwaway thing where he was just like, obviously he was pissed that he got into this mess anyway. And, you know, when you're pissed, you're like, when anything happens, like, man, I should have fucking did this and all that. I just figured it was something like that, and I didn't really pay that much attention.
Or he was just a crazy person.
Yeah.
Spouting nonsense.
Or he knew he was going to die and just fucking is freaking out.
But yeah, because in 28 years later, they're confined to an island, and if they try to leave the island, then they'll get fucking shot by soldiers.
Even though if they were infected, they would know about it. Like, because it spreads fast. It's not like you'd be carrying, it's not COVID.
Yeah. And you have red eyes and shit.
Yeah.
And you're moving differently.
And going,
Yeah. Moving different.
That's the sound they make.
So if you guys want to check out the movie yourself, there's unfortunately no place to watch it for free.
Never anymore.
Quote unquote free, because you're paying for streaming services.
Not in this day of microtransactions.
But you can watch it. You can get a free trial. You can watch it on AMC Plus or Shudder, or you can rent it on Prime Video, Apple TV, whatever your heart's desire. I'm sure you could find it.
Or just any video rental site. That's where I did. I used Fandango. And rented it for $4 to watch it.
Or you can buy it for $135 on Amazon.
That seems like a bargain.
But yeah, this is our Cook Cinema, man. This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Hopefully, it was a lot of fun for you guys. So, we're trying to do this once a month.
Once a month, just for Patreon members. So thank you
In the
for being a member of the
Patreon
Patreon.
members. So,
And be lookout for a lot more Patreon exclusive stuff in the future.
yeah, if there's a post-apocalyptic movie that you're a fan of, they think they absolutely cooked.
Put in suggestions.
Yeah, we're cookedpod@gmail.com. Let us know, and we'll cover it.
We'll cover it. Until
So-
next time.
Bye.
Bye.